Who remembers this Lion King game? Oh my god. Such an impossible game. The original Lion King is directed by Roger Eilers and stars Mathew Broderick, Moria Kelly, James Earl Jones, and Jeremy Irons. It follows the story of a young Simba who is forced to flee Pride Rock when his uncle Scar kills his father Mufasa and takes the throne for himself. Simba flees in exile, but eventually finds the courage to fight Scar and save his people. Lion King is probably one of the most iconic animated films of all time. I think it's maybe my favorite ever made. It's just an incredible piece of fiction, and I think that the characters and the animation is the reason for that, and the music as well. I think the music is absolutely fantastic here. It's probably my favorite Disney soundtrack. You got I Can't Wait to Be King, got Be Prepared, you got Circle of Life. Circle of Life is just a fantastic way to open a movie. It's just majestic, and it really gives you the feels immediately when the movie opens. So I'd like to talk a bit about the Lion King, its impact for me as a whole, because I think that everything works in this movie. I just don't see anything wrong with it. Just the voice acting, like I said, is amazing. Mathew Broderick as adult Simba is just incredible. James Earl Jones is amazing as Mufasa. Every time you hear James Earl Jones' voice is really fun and exciting. It's kind of like Morgan Freeman's voice when you hear that in the movie. It makes everything better. And I think that Jeremy Irons as Scar is also astonishing. He's just a great villain. Scar is really one of the best Disney villains of all time, if not the best, because you sort of understand how jealous he is and why he's doing the things he's doing. Even though you don't agree with it, you sort of understand Scar, and I think that's the best way to write a villain for the audience to understand him. So yeah, the movie starts with Simba's birth, and all the animals are super excited, and Simba is basically set to be the new kings of the African lands. But of course, Scar is not really going to accept Simba as king. While Simba wants to be king right now, he sings that he can't wait to be king, that he's not ready yet, and it really shows when he takes Nala out to the Darklands, like this elephant graveyard, and this is like perimeter that they can't cross, and then the hyenas, they appear and they like almost eat them. But Mufasa arrives to save them because Sazush, he goes to warn him that they are in danger. How great is Sazu, by the way? I think he's such a great character, and I love that he is so willing to help, and he's like this family friend. I love the scene where Mufasa explains to Simba his responsibilities as king of the wildlands. And he tells Simba that one day he's gonna rule all of it. Scar wants to murder Mufasa. And the scene that Be Prepared is just amazing. Like when Scar and the hyenas start to sing. They're so evil. They really want to kill both of them. Kill Mufasa and Simba, so that Scar can take the throne. It's just really a great scene, and I love it to death. He gets a bunch of hyenas to help him, and so he lures Simba himself in the sort of crater with a bunch of wild beasts, and he gets stuck there, and Scar goes to get Mufasa for help. But Mufasa goes and saves Simba. He manages at least to save his son, but Scar pushes him off, and this leads to probably the most heartbreaking scene in any Disney movie, Mufasa's death. I mean, that scene is just heartbreaking. It's a really sad scene to watch, and I think that it's super well done. It's done much better than in the crappy remake, where you really don't feel anything, you don't feel any emotion at all. But here, in the original film, it's done superbly. I'd like to talk about this though. When Scar tells the hyenas to like go after Simba, I think that if Scar would have killed Simba himself, he would have gone after Simba himself. Like that, I think that the whole story would have ended there. Why would you send hyenas, like incompetent fools, after Simba to kill him? Instead of doing it yourself, and Simba would have died because Scar wouldn't have like left the job undone. He just like screwed up his own plan basically by sending the hyenas after Simba because he escapes. He escapes in like this field with spiky trees, and the hyenas won't follow him, so he manages to get away. And then he finds Simon and Pumbaa, who are just amazing characters. They might be even be my favorite on this movie. They're just really likable, and they take Simba under their wing. They show him how to eat in the wild and how to just have fun. Hakuna Matata. They tell him that it's pointless to worry about things, and it's the only way to live. I just love their characters. I love how this movie does like the passage of time during the song. Simba grows up, and they develop this like really deep friendship for one another. And then years later, when Simba is now old, they get this unwelcome intruder that is Nala, who is looking for food because Scar and the hyenas, they've eaten everything at Pride Rock. Everything is terrible over there. And so Nala, she wants to eat Simon and Pumbaa, but at least Simba stops her, but then they eventually realize that they have finally found one another. Do you feel The Love Tonight by Elton John is one of the best love themes ever made? It's so well done in this film. I love the chemistry between Nala and Simba, and I think that it's really superbly done here. Nala, he begs for him to come back. She tells him that Scar is ruling, and that he must take the throne of Pride Rock. And he first encounters Rafiki, who is just this great, awesome character, who tells him that the spirit of Mufasa lives inside him. But Simba has trouble really accepting his role as a king. He doesn't want to come back because he blames himself for his father's death. And so he is visited by a spirit of Mufasa. I love the scene where he stabs Simba's skull with his walking stick. Ah, jeez, what was that for? It doesn't matter. It's in the past. The past can hurt, but can you either run from it or learn from it? It's just amazing. It's just a great lesson for kids to learn too. I miss like the old Disney movies when they're like filled with great lessons for kids and great themes, great characters. It's just like we never get movies like this anymore. Instead, we get crappy remakes. So Simba accepts his role as a leader, and he goes back to Pride Rock to defeat Scar. And the scene where Simba decides to go back to Pride Rock, it gives me chills every time I watch the movie. And the entire last act of this film is just really emotional, and it's incredible. Simon and Pumbaa and Nala, they go after him, and they leave to Simba confronts Scar. Scar tells the lionesses Simba is responsible for Mufasa's death. But of course, it's Scar that's responsible. He's just lying through his teeth. And so they start fighting, and the fight is really epic. The lionesses, they fight as well. They fight the hyenas. And like Simon and Pumbaa, they arrive, and they start fighting as well. That Simon is like taking credit for like everything at the end. So they fight, and they end up on this like cliff. There's like fire on the ground. Just they claw and they eat each other. And Scar has the upper hand. He tells Simba that he murdered his father. And so like this gives him the strength to act, and he jumps on Scar, and he ends up with a bunch of hyenas. And Scar blamed his action on the hyenas, so like they aren't really happy with him. They weren't happy with him for a long time. Imagine he was like really a terrible king, and so they just decide to eat him and tear him up. So that's how it ends. Simba is now king of Pride Rock, and he's with Nala. He presents his newborn baby to the animals of the African lands, which continues the circle of life. I think that The Lion King is an amazing experience. It still really holds up all these years later. I give Lion King an A+. It's a fantastic film. It's got great characters and wonderful animation. It's just amazing songs. I think that the soundtrack is really amazing in this film, and I love absolutely everything about it. I don't have really a flaw in this film. I think it's wonderful, and it's just beautifully animated. So, yeah, let me know what you think about The Lion King down in the comments below. Please subscribe. See you next time. Bye.